So first of all, sir, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good, and I hope you're also doing well.
Same here, sir. So I got to know that Edelweiss has launched a organ donation campaign. So would you like to give any ideations? What are the ideations behind this campaign?
Okay. Priya, actually, when we started with this, it started off as a campaign.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We started this 4 years back,
Mm-hmm.
and earlier thought was to do it as a campaign.
Okay. Yeah.
But as we got deeper into the subject of organ
Mm-hmm.
donation, we realized that there is a lot of work to be done, a lot of things to be done because there's a
Mm-hmm.
huge gap in terms of number of people needing the organ and actual number of donors available.
Okay.
The gap is to such an extent that almost there are 5 lakh deaths happening every year just for the want of an organ. And we being now the most populous country in the world, uh, I we refuse to believe that there is dearth of people in terms of available for organ. I think what was required is more awareness was required. So once we realized that this problem is fairly deep rooted, we decided that this cannot be a campaign. It has to be much more than campaign. It has to be a cause that we have to be associated with, and we have to be associated it for a long time. So now we don't no longer see it as a campaign. We see it as a cause. We are associated with this throughout the year, but some part of the year, especially during November, December, yes, we actually try to concentrate all our activities that time so that we get the benefit of economies of scale in terms of activity. So this year also we had done something in the month of January. An idea was so when we started in year one, which is in 2019 December, at that time we had run a campaign of generating pledges, asking people to pledge their organs. So we had created a microsite where people could come and register as a donor for organ donation. In fact, we created a Guinness World Records title that year for getting the maximum number of pledges in a single day. 54,000 plus pledges in a single day. We still hold that record. Um, and then obviously we all know COVID struck. So because of that, we moved primarily the campaign to completely digital in next 2 years, which was 20 and 21. We completely moved it to digital leg. In the digital leg, we actually asked people to become an organ donation ambassador by enrolling for a course which was available on our website. They could run, it's a 2-hour self-learning course by which you can become an organ donation ambassador. An organ donation ambassador ambassadorship allows you to go and talk to customers about organ donation and educate them. That was 2 years that we did. This year we decided now, thankfully, hopefully, COVID at that time was behind us. We still don't know whether it's still behind us or not, given the latest series of the rise in the number of cases that we are seeing. But at least this year we realized that we could do a physical version of the same initiative. So we decided to go completely physical this year. But at that time, we still wanted it to be something unique. So we figured out that heart is one of the organs that can be donated. Okay. So we decided to make that as a center of our campaign. And what we did was we created 2 vehicles, which we call them Zindagi Express. These vehicles actually will start from the city of Hyderabad, and we flagged them off from the Hyderabad. Both of them moved in the opposite directions. Okay, and they traveled across more than 50 cities in the direction, and finally they met again in the city of Bhopal. So they started from Hyderabad and then they met in the city of Bhopal, each traveling in the opposite direction, but meeting again in Bhopal. Through this journey, and if you actually trace this journey on the map of the country, they're actually tracing out a shape of a heart. And then these vehicles met in Bhopal, primarily Bhopal because Bhopal is in MP and MP is said to be heart of India. So we wanted to send off 2 messages. Number one is obviously about the heart that can be donated, but more important, I think we wanted to leave a message that people of India have a heart. And to show that they have a heart, they are signing up for becoming an organ donors. So these vehicles, when they pass through multiple cities, they created a lot of awareness campaigns, nukkad nataks, talks in educational institutions, street walks, street rallies to promote the cause of organ donation, so that more and more people will become aware of it. This was supported by a digital push in terms of uh, celebrating the journey as it passes through, as the Zindagi Express passes through each cities. We had created a organ donation anthem, which we promoted digitally. We actually were very happy that we got a lot of support from the government into this. So when we were flagging it off from Telangana in Hyderabad, we got the state organ transplant, tissue and transplant organization, the nodal body in the state. So their director coming and flagging off the Zindagi Express. And when they reached in Bhopal, we had the mayor of Bhopal, we had the collector of Bhopal, and we had the minister of medical education in MP government coming and receiving the two vehicles back. And we culminated with a marathon. We actually don't call it a marathon, it was a 5-kilometer run, but it was a 5-kilometer run in order to welcome the Zindagi Expresses that were coming. So this is all what we did. The idea was purely to generate a lot of awareness on the space of organ donation. And we tied up with Mohan Foundation. Mohan Foundation is an NGO which has been working in the organ donation space for almost 30 years now. In fact, their name Mohan itself is an acronym which says Multi-Organ Harvesting Aid Network. That's Mohan. So Mohan Foundation has been our partner for last 4 years now. They provide us the technical know-how in terms of what are the problems associated with organ donation, how can we continue working in this. So they are our knowledge partners as well as all support that we need in this space. So this is what we did this year. But as I told you earlier, Priya, this is no longer a campaign for us. It's a cause that we will be associated for a long time.
Okay, that's really great journey of this entire cause. My next question was regarding what are the marketing strategies and media mix for this particular campaign and cause.
Okay, so we try to treat this campaign initiative as very different from any other marketing mix. Because if any other marketing mix, my decision will be fairly clinical. When I say clinical, my decision would be driven by media ki reach kitni hai, what is the best medium to reach people, and then completely driven by analytics. Here, the campaign was driven more by heart. Okay, so we decided to tie up with like-minded people who believed in the cause with us. So we tied up with a couple of radio channels along with the route, but the channels which believed in our cause. We tied up with a news portal who was with us and covered the entire journey with us, and then they created a lot of short stories on it which could be created. But more important, we actually at each of the cities where we went to and we made a pit stop, we had in many cities the donors and the recipients. Obviously, donor, if it has been a donor who has passed away, so we got the donor's family to come over here and the recipient and recipient's family to come and talk about the cause of organ donation. So we played more by the heart than the, let me call it, than the head into this campaign. And I'm very glad we decided to do that. Because this kind of campaign, while it requires a lot of reach, but it more requires the people who are committed to it. So it had a fair bit of media mix. It was heavily driven by below the line activities because we had vehicles going on the street. So BTL was a huge component of it. It had outdoors, it had radio, it had digital presence through our tie-up with the news portal. And it had also digital push in terms of the anthem that we were creating. So we were actually talking about it on various social media platforms also. You're on mute, Priya. So
Yeah, sorry. So
yeah,
this was all about the media mix and marketing strategies you were talking about. So, as per my knowledge, like I understood that you are doing in both the mediums, like offline and online, both the mediums. You guys were promoting this special initiative of Edelweiss. So
yes.
I would like to know, okay, what portion of your revenue has been invested in radio?
In radio, out
Yeah.
of the entire campaign, probably I think close to 10% would have gone into radio.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So, as I'm also working on this radio sort of story, so that's why I'm asking a bit questions about radio as well. So, I would
sure.
like to see, in this era of modern and digital marketing, how do you think radio has kept on its presence and hold on to its presence?
So, radio has got that unique ability to go across the mediums, both digital as well as physical. And I'll explain it to you. What do I mean by that?
Hmm.
Uh, so I'll explain with what we did. So when I was telling you that we did a marathon
Mm-hmm.
to end it. Now that
Yeah.
marathon was completely hosted by an RJ of the radio channel.
Okay.
Okay. So what radio has that unique capability is that they have their own mini celebrities in each town and
Yeah.
wherever they are present, right? Each town, each city has its own RJ who is a kind of celebrity in that city. So
Mm-hmm.
radio brings that celebrity. And when I say celebrity, these are the celebrities important and relevant to that particular market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So radio has that ability to get the celebrity pull.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, radio has this ability of reach. So you have a celebrity pull, you have a reach, which kind of becomes a push. Okay. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you have an amazing ability for advertisers like us to customize our content.
Yeah.
I can customize my content for the, so let's take an example of Bhopal because that's where we ended our
Mm-hmm.
initiative for this year. We could customize our content for Bhopal by speaking about topics which matter to Bhopal by a person who's very well known in Bhopal. Uh, and at the same time, when this vehicle would have reached Jaipur, I had somebody from Jaipur talking about what is important to Jaipur. So radio has given me that power of creating a lot of mini campaigns within a large campaign, which
Yeah.
I don't think, and at the same time, it is not a static medium.
Hmm.
Okay.
Definitely.
So a medium which is not static allows me to customize it according to the region or city that I'm operating in,
Yeah.
and the mix of push and pull both available. I think radio has that unique capability.
Okay, so do you think radio as a medium is making a comeback in terms of advertising?
I don't agree with the word comeback, Priya. Actually, radio was
Yeah,
never gone as such. Radio
yeah.
was never gone as such. However,
Hmm.
radio, I believe, would continue to being a support medium always.
Definitely.
But a very important support medium. Radio needs another supporting medium as well along with it,
Hmm.
because radio on its own normally will not fulfill all my marketing mix that I will require.
Yeah.
But radio is always going to be there in my marketing mix. That is for sure.
Okay, that's really great to know. And then let's move on back to the topic we were talking about. So, how are we targeting the audience via this campaign? Definitely via our media mix and marketing strategies. But do we have any alternate ways where how we are targeting the
Yeah.
audience, and who are the particular audience for this particular campaign?
Yeah. Priya, as you very well know, that today uh, it's the age of content.
Yeah.
If you do not have relevant content, irrespective of your heavy media spends, your message will not cut ice with people. So in order to have good content in place, now we have done a research
Yeah.
uh, with the respondents across 6-7 cities, asking about their problems or what are their perceptions about organ donation in our country.
Okay.
And that research was eye-opener for us, actually. I'll tell you, and we went to people like you and me who consider ourselves to be fairly educated,
Hmm.
fairly progressive in our outlook. people like you and me actually are responding that yes, I know organ donation, but I don't believe in it. And when we probe further that why you don't believe in it, violate any of the religious norms. That is one. So that was a myth.
Yeah.
Second myth was, and this was a shocker. The second myth was the people used to think that if I donate organs in this birth, I will be born without that organ in the next birth. We believe in reincarnation as a country, but ये माना कि अगर मैंने अभी आईज डोनेट कर दी तो नेक्स्ट ईयर जो मेरा नेक्स्ट रीबर्थ होगा आई विल बी बोर्न विदाउट आईज. This is a deep
Hmm.
rooted belief. You
Exactly.
know, plus there was a lot of mistrust amongst medical profession. People believed that if somebody I know is battling for his or her life, doctors will not try to save that person knowing that if that person is an organ donor, कि चलो ये चला जाएगा तो ठीक है, बट इसकी वजह से 9 लोगों को और जान मिल जाएगी तो इसको जाने दो. So doctors will not do their best, which
Hmm.
I believe is a huge insult to a medical profession. We have seen medical professions, especially during COVID also now, we have seen how they have risen above and what their normal duty and has helped the country come out of this pandemic. So, these small kind of misconceptions are there. What we
Yeah.
did, we converted this misconception to small snackable bites, pieces of content,
Yeah.
and then use them very effectively in social media, which really, and that's the power of content. When you have a good content,
Hmm.
and content which is backed by data, it automatically flies. So social media was a huge part of it. We have talked about radio has been a part of it. Outdoors was part of it. BTL has been part of it. And one thing I must compliment Priya, to your entire fraternity over here.
Yeah.
The entire press medium actually went ahead and actually covered this event, which we, in our marketing, as a marketer, I call it as an earned media. But an earned media has not been possible if we didn't have people like you supporting us in these kind of, and really talking about what we are doing to take it to masses. So I would
Exactly.
actually include PR also a part of a major marketing mix for us.
Yeah. That's a really big compliment for all of us. So yeah, here's my next question. How the year 2022 has been for Edelweiss?
So when you say year 2022, I will actually talk about FY23, which ended in
Sure.
March
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
follow a financial year calendar.
Exactly.
So FY23 has been very good for Edelweiss Tokyo Life.
Okay.
We have grown across all parameters. We have grown in business. So we have grown in new business. We have grown in our total business because for us, customer pays over a period of time. So it is
Yeah.
not just the customers we acquire in year one. There are
Mm-hmm.
customers that would have acquired in year 5 years before, but they're still
Mm-hmm.
paying us. So even those that we call as a total premium. So
Mm-hmm.
total premium has grown, new year premium has grown, our persistency, the number of people who are continuing with us as a percentage of total number of customers, that has grown. While these numbers are very, I think the most one number that we are all extremely proud of, and I think that is the reason why we are into the business of life insurance, is our claims ratio. Okay,
Okay.
claims ratio is at the time when actually it is the moment of truth for the families. And in most of the cases, when the claim is happening, the person who has bought the insurance is no longer there.
Yeah.
And we have promised to our customers that we will take care of you if something happens to you, we'll take care of your family, uh, at least from a financial perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Our
Mm-hmm.
claims ratio is 99.2% for the last financial year, which actually
Okay.
makes us extremely proud that we have been able to fulfill our promise. As a marketer, if I have to ask me, we have seen brand strength really improving in this year.
Mm-hmm.
A large part of credit I obviously give to the organ donation campaign also because it has really helped us uh, to grow the brand in the softer part of empathy. So
Mm-hmm.
the brand strength has grown, and more important is the attributes which are important for us. Number one is the
Mm-hmm.
trust. Number two is that this is a company like me. And
Mm-hmm.
number three, I have good things to talk about this company. these three parameters we have really grown. So it has been a fairly satisfying year for us at Edelweiss Tokyo Life.
Okay. So what are the upcoming campaigns or any plans we are expecting in 2023?
Yes, we will continue to innovate for our customers. We will continue to getting products which are the need of the day.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue focusing on organ donation as our social initiative.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue focusing on festivals because we believed we Indians love our festivals.
Yeah.
And we love to celebrate festivals and we have a lot of emotions attached to the festival. So we actually try to create our brand story around festivals because we are
Mm-hmm.
ultimately insurance is also about family.
Yeah.
So festivals and last part again, which I'm extremely proud of, uh, in all our communication, we have always shown number one, the protagonist is always a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is if you look at any ad ultimately an advertisement or any piece of content is a story.
Yeah.
And story has always, and if I follow a very broad line of story, things were going like this, then suddenly this happened. Because of which this happened, this thing was done, and therefore this happened. This is the line of story. You can
Yeah.
fit every story in this, whether it is a movie, whether it is a web series, or whether it is an ad.
Exactly. Yeah.
In our communication, what we try to do, na, जो third path ना कि then this was done, so this happened.
Yeah.
This was done is always a solution. This was done is always a solution because something has happened, some problem has happened. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is was done. The solution provider is always a female in our stories. Always. We make it a point. We are extremely conscious about it because we want to show, and it actually goes against our business because 80% of all insurance is bought by males.
Yeah.
But what we believe is females play a huge role as an influencer, and number of
Mm-hmm.
females buying insurance is going up over a period of time. In
Hmm.
fact, 33% of our advisors today who sell life insurance are women. So we have
Okay.
decided to root our brand around women. And therefore, whenever we have tried to get a sports person as a celebrity, because we believe sports also a good power, we always been a woman. So
Yeah.
we currently have Mithali Raj, who's one of our product ambassadors. In past, we had Saina Nehwal, we had
Mm-hmm.
Mirabai Chanu, we had Hima Das, we had Deepa Karmakar, Rani
Mm-hmm.
Rampal. All of this we have been associated with them, but one point we want that they should always be a woman. So we will continue creating our stories with
Mm-hmm.
women playing a central role in that story. So that will continue for us.
Okay, that's really great to know that. And now I am done with my questions. If you'd like to add something else in here.
No, I think number one is, as I told you earlier, Priya, thank you for what you are doing. I know it's not an easy job. I know it's not an easy job because in my role, I have actually managed to talk to and spend a lot of time with journalists, with people behind the scene, like Anisha, who's behind the scene right now. You who are actually in front and this thing. It is not easy. It is not easy. Why? Because I'll tell you, marketers like us will like to sell you a story every time we are meeting you. It is your job to create look at the real number one substance behind the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and number two is, it's a thankless job. Seriously. Seriously, it's a thankless job. So thank you for what you are doing. Um, uh, you know, um, mm, it is easy to talk about, as a marketer, it is easy for me to talk about customers. And if I have to be ideally correct, I would love to say that focus is our customers. We do something about customers. But one thing I would like to add over here is uh, insurance industry is hugely driven by distributors. The insurance agent hai na, he or she is not given respect in the industry.
Yeah.
People think ये आया है तो कुछ चिपकाने आया है,
Hmm.
and they try to avoid the calls.
Hmm.
They try to avoid the calls. कि नहीं यार इंश्योरेंस नहीं लेना. We tried to procrastinate the decision as much as well. Actually, I tip my hat to the people who are selling insurance, and not just about our company. I'm talking about all the life insurance companies. We have 23 life insurance companies in the country.
Hmm.
It is not an easy job to sell life insurance. It is not an easy job to sell life
Definitely.
insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, so in spite of all of this, these people day in, day out actually manage to sell policies. And
Yeah.
whenever I come across a family uh, whose life has been taken care because of the money that comes from the insurance, na, Priya, I
Hmm.
can tell you this. You meet one family like this, na, you will turn into a believer for insurance for life. For
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And that's what, when I interact with my sales team, na, I said, yes, medical profession is the most noblest profession in the country, no denying about that. But if there's any number two in this, it's going to be the insurance advisors, because you are doing it day in, day out. That is the message I want to leave to the thing, that we as a industry don't do enough to recognize the efforts that these people do. हम लोग सिर्फ ये देखते हैं कि इसको कमीशन मिल रहा है.
Hmm.
हम सब लोग, आप कर रहे हो काम, मैं कर रहा हूँ काम, we are also getting paid for it, right? So they are also doing an effort, they are getting paid for it. But
Definitely.
but in getting in the as an outcome of getting paid, they are doing something which is really protecting the country and protecting the family of somebody who's taking the insurance. So that's the message I want to leave. Okay.
So thank you so much, sir, for giving this opportunity to add, Kali.
Thank you, Priya.